Welcome to Film Freaks. This is Justin Llewellyn.
Nettie Williams.
And today we have yet another solo review of a movie that Eddie got to watch that was a film that came out a few months back, and it was the Christian drama film Breakthrough. And he's going to give
Yeah,
his
Breakthrough is a 2019 drama religious film directed by Roxanne Dawson, who is best known for her playing in Star Trek Voyager. It's produced by the guy who did Miracles in Heaven.
Yeah.
This film stars Chrissy Metz, Topher Grace, Josh Lucas, surprisingly, and Dennis Haysbert, which you guys know him. He's the deep voice guy from Allstate.
Yeah.
The black guy. And this movie tells an actual incredible true story about a boy who was playing on ice with a couple of his friends, just being teenagers, and unfortunately falls through the ice and drowns. And it deals with the group of like you get firemen and you have policemen. It's kind of like some of those Christian stories where like everybody's got a story to tell. Like you follow these ambulance guys that come and save him. Unfortunately, he was underwater for like 20 minutes and he was pretty much clinically dead for 40. And usually that means, after usually 5 minutes, I believe it's like 99% guaranteed death. And you get these guys, they save him, and he's put into a hospital. And the whole story is about while the hospital does everything they can to save the boy. It deals with religious aspects about the mother, who's basically wants everybody to have faith, and it shows it in the trailers, and if you know the story, the boy makes. Hell, the movie's called Breakthrough. That means something good happens in the end. So the kid, by miracle, survives, and basically that's the story. It's based off a true story, and it happened in St. Charles, Missouri, which is a suburb of St. Louis, which I got family from. So that's one thing that kind of caught me, and it's weird because I got family there, and I didn't even know about this
That's
until the movie.
interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, it's based off a true story, and um, I said this in certain films I've done because I've done a little bit of. It seems like I've done quite a few religious films as of lately. Again, I'll say it again. I'm not really really deep into these type films, so that's another thing that I was kind of worried about. But I was actually looking forward to it at the same time, which was kind of weird because unlike all the other religious films, this one seemed like it had a higher budget, and two, had quite a fucking ensemble cast. You
Yeah.
don't ever see that in religious movies.
The last one I could think of that was like that, and it was produced by the same person that did Miracles from Heaven. That film also was one of the more mainstream Christian films that had like Jennifer Garner and Queen Latifah and all them. So that, in fact, from the trailers, I kind of had the feeling they were kind of doing a similar angle with that movie. Because in that movie too, it dealt with a situation where person actually experiences, like you said, a breakthrough. So it kind of has like a very similar theme with that movie.
Well, pretty much a lot of the people that did Miracles from Heaven actually worked on this movie. So I didn't see Miracles from Heaven, but there's probably a lot of similarities with the both movies.
Yeah, I saw. That was the last one I saw in theater wise was Miracles from Heaven, and I actually really enjoyed that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah, but like I said, it's kind of hard for me to review these type films because, like I said, these are kind of out of my realm. I'm not going to say, it's not. I'm not saying I don't believe in religion and all that stuff. That's not exactly. It's nowhere near what I'm saying. I'm just saying, blankly, these are just not my type style films. But I was interested, so I gave it a watch. And upon seeing the film, I will say it is good. It's a very heartwarming, touching story, but it does have some flaws with it, and mainly that involves with Christian films, with the whole how they shoot things, and the writing and all that. So, getting into my pros, I will say that Uh, the main girl, I don't know much about her. Her name's Chrissy Metz, and that's the mother you see in the film. Uh, I will say that for somebody I don't know much about, she looks like she's never really did anything, but maybe a couple little low budget stuff. She did really good. I think she was very emotional. It was very heart touching how much she cared about this boy. Which, by the way, another thing, a lot of people already knew about this too. This really isn't her kid in the movie. This is their adopted son because she's actually married to Josh Lucas in the movie, and which I'll get into later about like the backstory of how they got the kid, because I'm kind of like kind of skeptical on some of the writing in this film, and I'll get into my cons in a minute on that. But as far as the performance, Topher Grace, he fit the narrative as a preacher. He played the part well. Um, it was kind of weird seeing Josh Lucas in this. I was actually kind of like surprised, especially he's actually in the movie. Like I said, he's married to that big woman, Chrissy Metz.
Yeah,
And Dennis Haysbert, he's always good in everything. I actually kind of liked his role in this because he plays the doctor that cares for the boy.
That's good.
Yeah, and I actually thought, especially like when the things start turning around good for the child, that actually was really touching because it actually grabbed him. It like touched him, like it's like I didn't do this, like so. Performance was great. Um, the emotion scenes really do grab you. I mean, it's a tearjerker. It's you know, it's a miracle how this boy survived because like I said, it's based off a true story. It really happened. Uh, for the most part, I guess I could say that the budget. It was nice to see budget in a religious film. Like I said before, the budgets in Christian, they don't really put budget in Christian films, religious films. That's why a lot of them end up looking like shit on a cinematography standpoint. Which I will give them this. This one does look like a theoretical movie. Uh, uh, I mean, there's not much to really go deep on because there ain't a lot about this, about the story. So I'll get into my cons. Now this one's like a pro or con for me. This one actually kind of I could see what they were going with, but it bothered me on two things. Believe it or not, the drowning thing doesn't happen until 45 minutes into the movie. It really doesn't. Like the first 45 minutes, it's about how he's become a teenager. He's going through mood swings. He knows that they ain't his mom and dad, which I don't get why he would have a problem with that now, seeing as he was adopted by them when he was a little kid. Well, he's practically a baby. So I don't see why he's going through these phases, but at the same time, I see why they're doing it because in the end, when he's saved, it really touches him how this woman and this man really love him. His adopted parents. I
Yeah.
get what they were going for, but I feel like because the story probably didn't have a lot of story to tell other than the kid miraculously surviving the events, I felt like they're like, okay, we got to figure out a way to make a movie. So in the first 40 minutes, it feels like just like a kid going through phases. So I was kind of tone deaf with the movie. I was like, where, what are they doing? I didn't know what they were doing because I thought usually shit like this happens like what the first 20 minutes. I couldn't believe it was 45 minutes until the movie this took place. The movie was already halfway over. So
Wow.
like,
Really?
yeah. So the pacing again, that's another issue. So at times I'm kind of was a little bit bored with the drag. Um, uh, let there's a part in the film that did kind of remind me, while the whole movie did feel very theoretical look, there's a part that kind of really made me think of a low budget Christian film. I don't know why it looks so bad in the scene because it reminded me of like something that came from Kirk Douglas or not Kirk Douglas, Kirk what's his name?
Cameron.
Kirk Cameron. It looked like something very low budget. I thought really stuck out. While the kid was on the ice and him in the water looks real, the back shots and the part where the the ambulance guys are in the water trying to pull his body out looked like a fucking it looked like definitely on a set piece. It looked like a
Oh,
green screen. Yeah, that really fucking stuck out. Like out of the whole movie, it looks very theoretical. Just that looks like something that from Kirk Cameron's low budget films. I'm like, ooh, ooh, yeah.
that's
Um,
good.
um, I'm not gonna question the whole religious part in this film. I am gonna feel like I am gonna point out that I felt like the movie uh instead of focus like I believe that this kid that some miracle happened because there's no way somebody could survive this. And I'm not questioning that at all. I do feel like how the movie presented it. I don't know whether if they're insulting it, making fun of it, or if they're actually trying to show us this did happen. Because there's a couple things I was questioning, um, like this part where like the mother like she's like all about faith and stuff, which I liked. It's just my issue was like when she would wish like throughout the movie she's wishing something, her wish is granted in like instantly, and you hear like some sparkle noise. It's like I mean, it questions me. It questions that this is a real story, but yet, for some reason, I feel like the movie's just tagging on like the religious thing too much. Like it's like her prayers were being answered instantly, and you hear like some like sparkle shit in the background, and it just takes the mood out a little bit because you start questioning. While I do believe that something of a higher force did save this boy, I felt like it was going too unbelievable. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I can
Like
definitely
hearing
see that.
sparkles, I'm sure the woman didn't hear sparkles. And the black guy, the ambulance guy who's saving the boy, while he's saving the boy, and I thought it was really it's kind of laughable, and I shouldn't have never laughed. And it's pretty sad. But you hear like some voice, and it was edited really bad, and you hear somebody say, "He's at the bottom." It's just like came out of nowhere. It's like they just went to some random guy say, "Hey, just say he's at the bottom real quick for us," and then put it. So that was a little cringy, and I'm not saying that I'm sure metaphorically he had some presence in him that said that to look at this direction where the boy might be, but I doubt somebody said look at the bottom. I'm not trying to question make fun. I'm just saying that there's some things that I'm sure happened, but then I'm sure the movie tacked it on, and I felt like the movie, way they tacked it on, felt very cheesy. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I can definitely
Yeah.
understand that.
But um, other than that, I mean, there ain't much to this movie. The boy makes a good recovery. Uh, it was it was heartwarming. It was tears of joy that he survived. Uh, and I'm glad to hear like at the end of the credits where they showed the pictures of the real family. They did get the casting pretty spot on. They kind of didn't with Topher Grace's character, but with the main lady Chrissy Metz and Josh Lucas, believe it or not, out of all the people, the one that looked just like the real guy was Josh Lucas.
Wow, that's
Like the
crazy.
real guy, the real man, the husband in real life looked just like Josh Lucas,
Oh,
and somewhat with the woman. But Topher Grace's character did not look like his guy at all. Like totally different, like apples and oranges, different. But I didn't care about that as long as you gave a good performance, which everybody did. I'm fine with. So it's cool. I'm glad this kid made a good recovery and went on to do great things in real life. So with that being said, um, the movie was good. It's just it's hard to grade something that isn't your cup of tea. but I will give credit where it's due. But it does it. But judging as a film, it is flawed, and you heard in my cons how flawed it was. So that being said, I'm gonna be nice here, and I'm gonna give this film a high average Joe in the film Freaks meter.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of those movies that I'll probably check out from maybe sometime because from the vibe that I got, it did feel like it'd make a good double feature with Miracles from Heaven. Because
Yeah,
going back to that movie, it deals with like certain themes, like the way you point out in this one, and that movie too. Like if you ever get a chance to watch it, it dealt with a lot of the same type of emotional turmoil about a child and stuff, and it also was shot very on a very good budget as well. So
yeah.
it's good that we're seeing these type of movies. They're at least trying to step up on their game compared to a lot of the other type of religious movies that I've heard that really are not that good. So because it seems like a majority of them, from what I hear, like they always stick to the same type of formula, and a lot of it seems very like one-sided. You
Oh,
know,
and I will say that there is another con I do want to add to it. I really want to bring up. I'm glad I caught it, and I wish I didn't get my grade yet, but I will go ahead and mention it anyways. There is one issue I do have. While the acting is pretty good in this film, I don't blame the actors per se on this, but I will say that this is an issue with almost every religious film. The writing, the screenplay, the way that people say their lines, they're given their lines where they're told to read, while they do their own stuff that's really good. I do feel like religious films has a problem with like some of the lines where they start talking way out of the realm of the plot and start just randomly babbling about shit that don't make sense. That film does have that little issue in the kind of in the middle of the film,
I could see that. Yeah.
where it feels like something that was low budget, like from Kirk Cameron, like
Mhm.
lines, like that cheap. It's like
Yeah.
it was higher at first, but then it started feeling like it was slipping a little bit in some of the lines. Like they do this thing where they make fun of Topher Grace's hair throughout the movie, which it's trying to get like some kind of like kind of up spirited type of thing through tragic times. I just felt like it just felt weird.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out eventually, just out of curiosity, because I mean there are times I'll still get to watch some, movies that deal with religion like these, because I liked Miracles in Heaven, so I think this would be like a good double feature with it.
And if people think that I'm out here just to bash religious films, hold that thought just for 1 second, because I still think that Passion of the Christ is a fucking phenomenal film,
I
hands
love
down.
that one too, and I
That
also
movie, that was the most saddest movie I ever saw. Like
yeah
I've never cried so hard. So I do like them. It's just some directions they go just kind of bother me a little bit.
yeah. So, fair enough. For those of you who have also seen Breakthrough, let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and check out some of our other reviews here and our website at filmfreaks.com. And we'll be seeing you in our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.